This is an episode of the Leadheads Podcast, a weapons and firearm podcast unlike any other. If you like what you hear, please consider subscribing or checking out our YouTube page. Work the trigger. Enjoy the show.
Welcome to the Leadheads Podcast, Episode 9. Top 4 First Firearms.
You almost forgot what this one was called.
I was totally going for FUD guns, but we've already recorded that one.
Yeah, that was the last one.
Yep.
That's all right. It's all right. We'll get over it. Hi, guys. How's it going? Welcome back to the podcast. Tonight we are covering our top 4 first guns. Now, with top 4 first guns, I'm not 100% sure I understood this one. I don't know, really. Or there's a lot of first gun stuff that you can actually do. Like, is it their first of this particular type of gun? Is it their first gun, ever? Is it... I don't know. How'd you go along with this?
I kind of took it as...
Stop looking at my list.
I wasn't even looking at your list.
Douchebag.
I took it as... like if somebody that didn't own firearms came and asked me what my first 4 guns should be, with my knowledge that I have of my general knowledge of firearms, what I would recommend somebody to get for their first guns.
Okay. Fair enough. Mine will work with that. Okay.
Or you can give your definition of what first guns should be,
and
you can go with that.
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm kind of losted.
This is like me building that gun that one time.
Yeah, I think it is. Okay. So, do we want to do... Which one do you want to start with? Okay. Well, I guess I should.
Yeah, you're starting.
We should explain this a little bit too. Because the reason we've got 4 is because there's 4 categories. There's 22, rifle, shotgun, pistol. So we're going to be throwing out 1 in each one of those categories per person. We'll start on the low end with the 22.
Okay.
Is that acceptable?
That's fair.
And mine is going to be a Marlin lever action in 22. That was...
So yours is really expensive.
Yes. So I didn't go by cheap or affordable.
Because I would have went with a Henry lever action in 22.
Okay, that's fair. Is that what your choice was?
No.
Okay.
But so the Henry's half the price.
Just a lever action, I guess, in 22. Now, the reason I went with a lever action over a semi-auto is the same reason that I got both of my boys' Heritage revolvers as their first guns. It's because when you do a single shot gun like that, a repeatable single shot gun like that, it's less intimidating because each trigger pull only will fire 1, obviously, but then you don't have that concern about all of this stuff taking place afterwards. You don't have to worry about your trigger follow-up. You don't have to worry about that kind of stuff. It is still a repeating rifle, so you do still have more than a single shot out of it. Lever actions are just fun.
They are.
They are some of the most fun firearms that you can just get in and play with. They don't take a lot of... severe training to get fun out of them. I just think they are a solid option for a 22. They're still exceptionally accurate. You don't have to worry about magazines for them. You don't have to worry about loading magazines, knowing where the magazines are, remembering magazines when you go out shooting, all of that kind of stuff that comes along with it. You grab your ammo, you grab your gun, you grab your ear pro, eye pro, and you go and you have fun. And again, it's that single shot thing, so they can focus on the discipline of the trigger pull for just that one trigger pull. They don't have to worry about anything after that.
Yeah, I would say the only downside to that would actually be the magazine itself on a lever gun.
Yes, they are difficult to load. Or different to load.
With somebody being brand new to firearms, it could be a little dangerous loading. And unloading a tube mag, 99.8% of the time when you slide all the rounds out, all the rounds come out.
Yes.
But occasionally one's still in there.
You know how I unload a tube mag? Boom. Boom.
Yeah, it's by far the safest way, especially with the 22.
It's the most fun, too, by a long shot. All right.
So that's
that,
yours?
that is my 22 option.
Okay. Mine is mine's pretty lame, but it is a Ruger 1022.
I was obviously going to go with that, but decided
If
against
yours was that, I was going to instantly change mine to a Mark IV.
Okay, that's fair.
But the 1022 is kind of, in my opinion, like the Honda Civic of firearms.
100% agree.
There's tons of parts out there. They're pretty simple. They're accurate enough.
I did have Henry or Marlin.
Okay.
Just a heads up there.
They're accurate enough. They can be made far more accurate than they are. You can do whatever you want with them. The iron sights are very generous. So you don't have to buy it and then instantly put an optic on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just a pretty decent first 22 in my opinion. You can put hundreds of thousands of rounds through a 1022.
They are by far like the most solid sub $500 22 rifle you can get.
Yeah.
I mean, you can get better 22 rifles, but you're going to spend a decent amount to get them.
Yeah.
1022s cost nothing.
Yep.
All right. So next up, let's go rifle.
Okay.
You down? Okay.
That's fair.
So I'm going to. I did specify both gun and caliber. So first of all, caliber is .308. Versatility, readily available. It is a round that can do a lot. It can reach out and touch something. It can take a deer at 50 yards. It can do pretty much anything.
Mm-hmm.
So the gun is a Savage Axis 2.
A very viable gun.
The reason I went with the Axis 2, so I had initially actually had the Ruger American down. I think the Ruger American is honestly probably one of the best current platforms of bolt action gun out there. And now, mind you, I did go bolt action with this just because I wanted to go that way instead of like an AR-15 or something like that.
Just who would do that?
That a guy. Anyway, so the reason I went with the Savage over that is, and it's specifically the Axis 2, because the Axis 2 comes with the AccuTrigger,
right?
Which is a downright amazing trigger. You have guns that cost 4 and 5 times the amount of a Savage 2 that don't have as good a triggers or as adjustable a triggers. They've been out for a long time. It is a platform that has a ton of accessories out there. You can rebarrel them easily. You can modify the triggers. You can put new stocks on them. You can do pretty much everything to a Savage 2 or to a
Axis 2.
Thank you, an Axis 2, and be safe. They are, because I had thought about a Remington 700 as well. Remington 700's just, I know that they've got most of the safety problems fixed, but they're still questionable, and the quality just isn't there anymore.
I'm a Remington guy, and I would go Savage over Remington.
Yeah. So that's kind of why I went that way. The reason that I didn't go semi-auto is because we're talking first guns. In my mind a lot, I look at first gun people as being timid. And an AR is a lot more intimidating than a bolt gun is. So that's kind of why I went that way. It's not to go too like revolvery on you, but it's a simpler design for a more refined era. No, I'm kidding. For somebody who's just more timid about firearms, they're not used to being around them.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so that's my numero doso. I guess not my numero dos. It's my long gun, my rifle. Yeah.
So my rifle, kind of going the opposite direction here, would be, I said a mid-grade AR-15.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't even say it needs to be mid-grade. If you could get into like a Smith & Wesson M&P 15 Sport or the Sport 2,
those are solid options.
That firearm from that grade of firearm from a different manufacturer.
What's your opinion on the Ruger 5.56?
I don't know.
I've heard that they've got a couple of unique components.
When they first came out, there was some proprietary stuff.
Yeah. Did they change that?
I don't know.
Okay.
But
I know somebody who's got one and it runs well.
Yeah.
And I like the way they look, like for what they are.
Yeah.
They're good gun, good looking, and yeah, good featured. Anyway.
So my thing with the AR-15 is, honestly, just like the 1022, there's loads of accessories.
Yep.
It's in 223 556. You know, that's the one I would recommend. So, as you said, new shooter being more timid. Your gun is less scary looking. Mine is less scary shooting.
That's true.
Mine is a very soft shooting gun, especially if you get a mid-length gas system.
Not gonna find that in one of those lower end ones, though.
No. Well, maybe. I don't know.
You'd have to build for that.
You have lots of things you can do. You can put a Simmons 3x9 on it. You can put a red dot
Simmons
on it.
again.
I know. For the record, both of us have Simmons, and
Yes,
they're
we do.
both on our hunting rifles.
They are. And they work very well.
But, I mean, you can put everything from a Simmons 3x9. You can put an ACOG. I mean, whatever fits in your price category, you can do with an AR-15.
And an AR-15 can grow with you, is a nice
Exactly.
thing. You know, you buy a base model with what the heck are the plastic front handguards on those called?
Just
Like-
the M4 front end?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't they have like some like ice something?
DPMS did.
Okay, that was just DPMS. Anyway,
Yeah.
you know, you can start off with just a base model Smith & Wesson MP 15.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm drawing a blank there for a sec. With that Simmons scope, and you can completely change those things around as you find money or find things that you like, you don't like.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it is a solid first gun.
And they're very accurate, especially the sports. I believe the Sport 2 has 5R rifling.
What's the twist rate on those?
I think they're 1 in 8. I don't know.
So the right twist rate.
yeah.
I'm a 1 in 8 fan. I think I like universal.
But the other bonus is the 22 conversion for them. So if you want to shoot your gun, you want to shoot a lot more, but you got to mind your budget, especially right now. If you can find 22s, they're a whole lot cheaper than shooting 223 556. The only modification I would make to this would be in a compliant state. I would go with your gun that you listed off in 223 556.
So it's nicer shooting.
Yes,
Softer.
because I have a 308 bolt gun, and it is my tried and true Deer Slayer, and I have my 223 556 bolt gun, and it is my range impressor. Like, people get behind it and they're like, "Ooh, that's fun."
Yeah, 308's thump.
It is.
I mean, it's
and
not
there's
crazy
nothing,
round, but it thumps.
Yeah, it's not the worst thing you're ever going to experience, but for a new shooter wanting to get lots of rounds downrange, a 223 has less recoil. I mean, it just does.
It does. You are absolutely right. All right. So next up, let's go. You want to do pistol or shotgun next?
No, I don't care either way.
Okay, let's do shotgun next, and then we'll toss pistol in last.
Probably going to be the same.
Which one? Shotgun?
Probably going to be the
Probably.
same.
It's a Mossberg 500
Okay.
combo.
Ooh.
Okay. So I've got my reasonings. Why? Oh no, I don't. Okay. So I would say get the combo. 3-inch chamber is honestly fine for a first shotgun.
Yeah.
Yes, they've got the bigger Magnum shells, but odds are I don't even have past 3-inch shells. I don't think. Like, the majority of them are 3-inch, and you're going to be safe with that. The reason with the combo is you get the 18.5-inch barrel for home defense, which I don't recommend
so
shotguns
you're
for home
the
defense.
Field
but
security combo.
yes.
Okay.
And you get the 28-inch field barrel. That way you can do pretty much everything with these things. The 500 is under $500 for this thing. It's about $425-ish usually for the combo. And the reason I went Mossberg over the Remington, first of all, the Remington has quality problems because Remington is gone to the crapper, and they don't even make the gun right now. Secondly, what we were talking about in the last video, the safety. Crossbar safeties they're trickier for people to turn on and turn off.
They end up just getting left off.
They do. And if
Mine
you're
do.
left-handed, you just can't use them. Whereas the Tang safeties are universal. They're simple. It's right in your face. You can see it at a glance and know whether it's on or off. You can reach it. I like that safety style better.
Yeah.
I didn't at first. I wasn't. It's not that I didn't at first. It's that I didn't know at first. But, once you start using stuff and noticing the little caveats of when something is more convenient, that's when it really hits you. And that's, I think the Mossberg is, well, Mossbergs and Remingtons are really the tried and true two pump action shotguns. I went pump because of price. You can get, over-unders are freaking fantastic guns.
Yeah.
But they cost so much for a decent one. I mean, you can get them for cheaper, but at that point, get a pump because they're the same price and you get 5 shots with the pump. I didn't go semi-auto because, again, you're running into the kind of...
There's a lot going on in the semi-auto
There
12 gauge,
is.
and they get dirty fast.
They do, and they gum up. It's intimidating. Going back to the 308 thing in the bolt action, 12 gauge is thump. Now I would go 12 gauge just because of the adequacy of the round, but if you're really worried, a 20 gauge would be okay.
Yeah.
I'd be alright with that. And the other cool thing is too with the Mossberg, you can always grab if you can find a threaded or not a threaded rifled barrel. You can run those
Mossberg
too.
actually, one of the guys I know, he bought his first gun. It was a Mossberg 500, and this was 20, 30 years ago. And he had saved up for this one particular model because he was only going to buy one gun. And he bought the Mossberg 4-barrel set.
Ooh.
So it was security barrel, it was field barrel,
Okay.
it was rifled slug barrel, and it was a 50 cal muzzleloader barrel.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
Downside to that barrel
Yeah.
is it makes your Mossberg 500 super dirty.
Yeah, I bet. But I was expecting to hear something like a 30-06 rifle barrel.
Nope.
But that's way cooler.
50 cal muzzleloader.
Yeah, I like the 50 cal muzzle loaders.
Yep. And
Those
I actually
things-
have his rifled slug barrel at my house.
Do you really?
Yeah, I traded him for an old drill.
Nice. You win. I 50 cals, like muzzle loaders, they're just kind of fun to shoot.
Yeah.
I haven't shot mine in forever. You don't have one anymore.
Nope, gave it away.
But I love them. Like, they're just, I mean, it's kind of old schooly, but I also kind of want a flintlock too, just because.
I don't because they'd burn my face.
That's a good point. Yeah, did they ever make left-handed flintlocks?
They do now.
But they didn't, did they
No.
originally? So they just, like, if you were a lefty, you just...
You just shot right-handed.
Alright, that makes more sense than just getting over it. I envision them, like, walking through the ranks, like...
I never shot into my rifle, sir. It hurts my face.
like, patting the lefties on the back, like, enjoy your eyesight now, son.
Close them.
That's like the old school, the Musketeers when they used the matchlock with the little burning thing. When they went down, like they would full on close their mouth, their face because it would flare up. Anyway, yeah, that's mine. That's my shotgun.
Mine is very similar. Mine's either a Remington 870 or a Mossberg 500. Depending on your flavor, you can get...
What about the, what was the one we were just talking about in the last show?
Black Aces.
Nope. Oh, no. Black Aces is awesome. Another one made by Mossberg.
Oh, the Maverick?
That one.
Honestly, the Maverick 88 isn't a bad shotgun.
Would you go Maverick or Remington? Would you still go Remington?
I would go Maverick because of the price point it would come in at.
Yeah, they're like 250.
I have almost
bucks,
bought...
aren't
They make a 20-inch 8-shot Maverick 88.
Okay.
And I've almost bought it, I don't know how many times, because just to have a 20-inch 8-shot 12-gauge to throw in behind the seat of my truck.
That would be kind of awesome.
Yeah.
That'd be like wider than my entire vehicle.
Yeah, well, you can darn near park your 4Runner in the cab of my F-350.
Just about could.
But, yeah, I mean, you can go with an 870. If I went with an 870, I would definitely try to find a used one, an older one.
Yeah.
As far as Mossberg goes, you're pretty good. If you get an old enough used one, they're going to have a steel receiver. I've owned one of those. They are heavy. Oh my goodness, they're heavy. The new I say new, like
Right.
the alloy receivers they've been running for the past several years. They probably take a pound and a half off the gun. Yeah, either one of those options, you're pretty well good. I think Remington makes a combo, but I mean they don't make anything right now. But
Right. I think everybody pretty much makes a combo in those
Yeah.
lower end.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things where it costs them $50 more at most to toss a barrel in, and they get to charge you an extra 75. So
Yeah.
they're just going to do it. Cool.
yeah,
We're super similar on that one.
yeah. I mean you can only go so. I mean, short of going like an H&R single shot,
That is true.
which I had thought about, but that's a whole lot of thump on your shoulder.
It's a lot of thump on your shoulder, and it's a lot of waste because they're not that cheap.
No,
You know,
well
so-
now they're not at all.
Well,
I don't even think
even-
they're made.
Even they're not. But even when the handy rifles were freaking awesome.
Yes.
But even when they were coming out, they were still $350 to $450, I think.
Yeah,
Which you can. The $350 you can't get into a pump. You can get a Maverick for that though.
you can get a Maverick well under
I
that.
mean, so. Anyway, okay. Next up, pistols. You
Pistols. I'm ready.
ready? Okay. So I'm gonna go. The reason I selected this particular pistol is because if it's a single gun for your first gun, I wanted it to be able to adequately cover a lot of different positions.
Dang it.
So, no, it's not this. I don't think it's the same one that you picked, but it's the same idea, I think.
Okay.
Okay. Hammer fired?
Okay, never mind.
Okay. So I went hammer fired. And here's why I went hammer fired is because people are scared of striker fire guns. The just pull the trigger and it goes. That makes people extremely nervous. And so I went hammer fired. Yes, I know that the trigger pull on a double action gun is more difficult, obviously. That just encourages them to learn some trigger control.
Yeah.
But the one particular that I went with, I own, and it's an SPO1. And here's why I went with an SPO1. My other option was a Beretta 92. Which
I
I
thought you
actually
were going to go PO7, actually.
I full on jumped Beretta. No, because I want a full size.
Okay.
Like for a first gun, because it's going to make a better nightstand gun. And honestly, if it's a first gun, they're probably not going to carry it anyway.
Yeah.
So here's why I went with the SPO1 though, over the Beretta. Is because if they do need to carry it, the SPO1 is significantly narrower than the Beretta. The Beretta it's a beefy gun.
Yeah.
The SPO1 isn't. It's surprisingly thin. It's about as thick as a Glock, except for the controls, and those are those just shove into your side a little bit.
Yeah.
I also like that, and it's an SPO1 tactical. I like the decocker on the SPO1 more than the Beretta. And I don't like the safety position on a Beretta. It's hard to get to, and I just don't like it that much. It's again, you've got the full size capacity for, especially for like new shooters, because it's going to be easier to shoot than something like a Glock 19 or a PO1 or a P10C. And it's just the SPO. It's just a smooth shooting gun.
It is.
That people are going to enjoy shooting. It's not going to scare them away right away, like a really small gun would do. But it's going to give you adequate force. I mean, you can get anywhere between 16 and 18 rounds in the mags for those. And it's got a decent accessory amount. It's got decent modifications if you ever get to that point. It's got aftermarket options. You can get dots milled on them.
It's well known.
It is. It's a well-known gun. They're extremely accurate. I still hold that CZs are, out of the box, one of the most accurate firearms available. Like, they're just, the fit and finish and rifling and the barrel in them, they're just extremely accurate guns. A CZ is the only gun I've ever stacked rounds at 25 yards with.
I would like to get a dot on your SPO1 so we can shoot it
Me too.
next to my 17 Gen 5.
That would, well, I mean, I've shot, well, and I don't have a dot. I'll put a dot on the 45 though, Run that next to the PO1. We'll see how those do.
That's fair.
I mean, pretty much the same difference, but yeah, I just, and I mean, not to be too much of a CZ head, because as I said, like, I was gonna go Beretta. I had 92 down, but then I started thinking about expanded use, because at first I was only thinking about house carry.
The 92 is a big, bulky gun. I just happen to really love it.
I do too. You can't find a smoother action than a 92.
Yep.
The triggers are super easy to make, super smooth. They, again, have a massive aftermarket. It's just that little extra beef is the only thing that put the SPO1 in its place.
That's fair.
All right, so what's your pistol?
I mean, you know what I'm going to say.
Yeah,
It's
you
obvious,
just said it already.
It's obviously a Glock 19 MOS.
Oh, I thought you were going to go 17.
See, I would
I
go
like that,
17, but the 19, in my opinion, is one of the best all-around pistols. Is it the best of anything? Absolutely not. I'm not saying it is whatsoever, but it takes Glock mags. It's in 9mm. It has standard capacity in non-compliant states is 15 plus 1. You have all of the world of aftermarket. All of the guns that I've selected
Literally.
have had phenomenal aftermarket support. The MOS gives you the option to run your iron sights and get used to them, or save up, and then you can mount an optic without having to mill anything. All you have to do is buy the optic. You can use the MOS plates, or you can upgrade to the CNH plates, whichever. Everybody makes a holster for a Glock 19.
Yep. It's literally the first holster that any holster maker invests in.
Yeah. So it's just, there's so much information out there about Glock 19s. Parts compatibility, all of that. It's just, I prefer 17 myself because my hands are thicker. I would not hesitate to have only a 19. It would be okay. I wouldn't be happy about it, but I would be okay. Yeah.
I agree. So I've got an entire video on this, on why I choose compact guns, and they are kind of the perfect compromise pistol.
They are.
You know, we make compromises no matter what we end up carrying. Even with the 17 with you, it will be slightly less concealable.
It is.
But that's your compromise. You would rather have the full grip that you can actually shoot adequately with your hand than have, like, ultimate concealability.
Because I don't carry the 17. I don't carry the 17 because it has 17 rounds, as opposed to the 19 carrying 15. If I'm in a self-defense situation, I have to use 16 rounds, the 15 plus 1. Something has gone terribly wrong anyway. Like,
you're gonna
the
be
extra
screwed.
2 rounds aren't going to help me
Yeah.
that much. I just can't see it happening. I always carry a spare mag, but that isn't for round count as much as if my mag has issues.
Right. But the 19 is big enough to fight with,
Yes.
small enough to conceal.
Yes.
Big enough to control,
Yes.
small enough to conceal.
And popular
already,
enough.
but-
Popular enough to shop around.
They with carry, I think people either overestimate concealability drastically, or a requirement for concealability with, like, going too small for an EDC gun.
Yeah, we've discussed this I don't know how many times.
Every time we're together.
Yeah.
Or
Because I carry a full size.
or they underestimate the requirement, or overestimate the requirement. Anyway, you know, it's okay to carry a compact gun. It's almost like it's frowned upon. Mac actually just did an entire video about how the 19 is obsolete, and I think he is completely and utterly wrong. You heard it. I think you're wrong, Mac.
Along with the Glock 19, what you had said about the just picking it up and pulling the trigger, it being scary, that is a benefit because it's a consistent
I agree
thing.
completely there.
But if it was something that someone was concerned about the Glock not having a manual safety, I'd go M&P 2.0 in a heartbeat.
Okay.
More or less is a Glock 19 with
Yeah.
the safety.
Now, would you go? What 2-barrel? They've got the 3.5 inch and
I'd
the
go
4. Okay.
That's
what I would
do
do,
the
too.
Glock 19 size.
Yeah.
The 4-inch 15 round.
Yeah, that gun, the M&P in the 3.5 inch, I don't like that one as much.
I mean, to be honest, I would do the full size, and I'd do the
Well, that's true. That's because you're weird, though.
I'd do the 4 1/4 core Performance Center ported, but not that I've picked that one out and dreamed of it.
Right. He's never had that in a shopping cart before and decided not to get it.
Bought a 17 instead.
All right. Do you have any like bonuses? This
No.
isn't really like a
I mean,
bonusable.
the M&P and the 223 bolt gun would be my two bonuses, but those are more just a variation, I guess.
That's fair. I mean, I think the majority of, for the pistol side, obviously I lean more that way anyway. Like, that's my preferred firearm platform is a pistol.
Yep.
And so I think the majority of compact guns would work pretty well. I don't think I'd go Sig X. I'm going to grab this here because people in the... Not pointed at your head. So I don't think that I'd go with the Sig X Compact. It's... I like the gun. It's just that the shorter barrel... This is that same form factor as the M&P in the 3.5 inch
Yes.
barrel. And I think it's just kind of a waste, really. Like, I want this in a longer slide variant of what it is. Or with a comp on the end.
Yeah.
That's about the only time that the shorter barrels like this, I really like that setup with a comp on the end. Getting it back out to that 4-inch by adding a half of an inch of
Now,
compensation.
the X-Carry, does it have the same link slide, or is it a little longer?
The X-Carry is a compact slide on a full-size frame.
So same slide.
No.
No.
This is a subcompact slide.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So yeah, the X Compact is a subcompact slide on a compact frame. The
Gotcha.
X Carry is a compact slide on a full size frame.
Because I love the X-Carry.
Yeah, and you would because it's a full size frame.
Yeah, it's a
You
Glock
got the-
45.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. And it surprises me a little bit that Glock has not gone with the 26 length slide on the 19 size frame, just because everybody else has kind of gone
Yeah.
that way. But leave it to Glock to not do something that you would expect them
They
to
got
do.
their fingers in their ears.
They do. It's all right. They're raking in the money. And honestly, I don't see a product gap in Glock's product line.
No. I mean,
Like-
they don't need to innovate right now. Their products are selling faster than they can make them.
Yeah, that is 100% true. Unfortunately, that's true with everybody. That makes me sad. That has made this year... Well, last year was very boring. This year is already panning out to be better.
Yeah.
The PDP came out. I already crapped on it.
Yeah.
Sorry, Walther guys. It's a good gun. It's just there's one feature on it that I don't like that much. I just don't like the way that they did it.
And the Hellcat Roland Special came out.
Yes, that did. That's actually a pretty nifty little setup.
Yep.
But we're getting way off topic now.
But that's what we have. Those are each of our 4 guns that you should start off with if you are a first-time shooter.
Also known as our 4 first guns.
4 first guns.
So thanks everybody for hanging out with us on the podcast. If you like this, go ahead and give us a follow. If you're watching this on YouTube, head on over to your favorite podcast app and check us out over there. If you're on the podcast app, listen to more. I think
We
that's
appreciate it.
If you like what we do here, you can head on over to our Patreon page. That's patreon.com/leadheadspodcast. Almost dropped the wrong Patreon page. That would
It
be fun.
happens.
It does. Anyway, thanks again, guys, and we'll see you next time.
See you guys.